We're preaching, and where I go, I follow. Hey! So, the other day after a long bath, I really was feeling the whole understanding of enlightenment. What? Can you even get away with saying that? Can we? Yes, we can. Because it's not a thing that we're not supposed to talk about. It's not a thing that you can hold and you can touch and you can throw away or pull in. It's a feeling. It's a mind state. And I was going through the motions and I was understanding and meditating and just being warm actually in the bath and being by myself, being alone, being naked, being raw, being no mind state. And it came to me. It literally came to me. Everything summed up. And I recorded a video straight after, well, like a little while after, and I was a bit like, so I decided instead to pause, push the button, stop that, and just say it now when I'm a little bit more energized, a little bit more normal. Cool. So this is what I realised, and this is what you can realise. This is what we can all be in a state of. We put ourselves in the label that what I am is what I am. So this is a pen, I'm a girl, this is a cup, this is another cup, biodegradable obviously, this is some toilet roll. By separating yourself, by separating every single object as if that's all that can be, that's its only potential, that is where life becomes very unsatisfactory. I can't be you. I could literally cry if I was in that mind state of how depressing that is, that I cannot experience what you're experiencing. I can't experience being a baby again. I don't know if I'm going to get to old age. It's so painful. I can't experience a different past. I can only experience what I have right now. Oh, savage. Or is it? Yeah, it's pretty savage if you think about it. So, when we distinguish, this cup is just a cup. That's all it'll ever be. That's its job. That's it. Whatever. Don't care about the cup. Just putting it into context. Don't care about the cup. Pen, your job's to write. Maybe when you run out, throw it away. That's it. Who knows what's going to happen to you? You're just a pen. People could treat you like that. They could treat you like you're just that. You're just a pen to me. You're worth that to me. You're a throwaway object. You're disposable. Life is suffering. Your life can be suffering because you're putting yourself in the box of I'm only what I am and everything around me is only what it is. Once you realise, hold on, we are made of the same atoms. I am made of the same things in theory from the earth. I'm an atomic structure, just like this pen, just like this cup, just like you. Just like a bird. Okay, I can't be a bird. But hold on. We're all made of these atoms that came from the past that are going into the future. They're the same atoms, our molecular form of like 70% water is the same it's the same water that was on the planet when friggin' dinosaurs were here. My same atomic structure could be made of the same water molecules that a dinosaur was made of. Wow! Who knows what my molecular structure is going to be in the future? Go along the same lines here. So, if I understand that I am not, number one, only what I am, because what I am is one, ever-changing, but two, made up of particles that are actually from the eternal space. They are from the past. They are part of the ancestors of ourselves. My molecular structure was a pen 30 years ago. Maybe part of the atoms that make up my body now was a cup. So by looking at it this way, now I look at a cup and I'm like, whoa, maybe my molecular structure will be a cup in the future. Maybe this freaking cup is part of old me. Not old me now, old me before. Maybe this cup is molecular structure that used to be part of an ancient rainforest. And it's time's passed and everything's moved around and the universe keeps changing and all the water's moving and the air's moving, and now we turn it into a cup. This is obviously made from trees, it's biodegradable. So this was part of it, but I don't mean that in specific. I mean, let's just say this cup was an ancient rainforest, because everything on this planet is cellularly from this planet, moving around. Cool. So number one, I can't feel separate, can I? Because if I understand that, then anything around me and anyone around me could have been a past representation molecularly of me. And in the future, when I die and go to the soil and I'm going to like move around the ecosystem again, and maybe that's where the whole karmic thing comes into, I turn into the soil. I was going to say disintegrate. It's not disintegrate. Whoa, can't remember the word for your body. All right, so, well, you know, your body will transform back into the earth. That will go round, a bird will eat some seeds that's in that mud. My old body, physical self, will be transported. And wow, in theory, I got to experience being a bird. In theory, that bird like poops me out, or a tiger eats the bird, then I'm a tiger. Get what I'm saying with this cyclical effect. So if we put ourselves in a separate nature of just being in the now, and that's all I'm ever capable of, all that's ever I'm going to be, we're kind of understanding that we're wrong there, because before I was born, okay, father, mother, egg, sperm, cool, but the food my mother ate, the air my mother breathed, then created my cells. She was able to. If she wasn't eating, starving, fine, she would have lost a baby, I wouldn't be here. So I am in turn the things that she ate 30 years ago, and those things she ate were made of other things. So the cycle has continued to let me be here. So I'm not separate, you're not separate, we're not separate to each other. Wow, if I'm not separate to anything and everything could have been me and everything could be me in the future, wow, I'm totally not in a delusion anymore of feeling that life is unsatisfactory because this is all I am, or all that is, or all you are. That opens up a big door in our minds to feel like, wow, actually anything is possible. So then you come out of the delusion of feeling separate to everything. And once you understand that delusion, then you can like overcome that ignorant old thought pattern by really feeling the oneness of it all. The ecosystem within life, within ourselves. Once you understand that oneness, wow, you can cultivate real compassion immediately. Let me look at someone. Maybe that person, before I was born and I was in the food, and before they were born and they were in the food, in the ground, you know, in the mud or this, and their mother ate that apple and my mother ate that apple, but we were in the same ground, and then our mothers, like, we were born, and molecularly maybe I know that person. Maybe we had a past life, a molecular atomic past life together, because before we were born we were obviously somewhere else within the structure of the world. We were somewhere as some form of energy, fuel, some form of that, because we're born once our mothers take in the fuel and can keep having the energy to grow us. Maybe when I look at that person now, wow, I feel like you were me, you could be me, you could be me in the future. Maybe we get buried next to each other, maybe we don't. It doesn't matter where you're buried next to each other, what I'm saying, just so you can understand. Maybe we'll get buried next to each other and our bodies will, can't remember the word again, I'm going to say dissolve, no it's not that. Maybe our bodies will then become one, and then again we will be energy in the same realm, and I will know that person. Maybe this cup, you know, this cup's going to break down at some point and be back in the atmosphere, maybe in a bad way, but be back in the atmosphere, and all the air will be moving around, and I might become part of the air as like my body releases its gases, and I might meet this cup again. This is the understanding that I had in the bath of the idea of the compassion, the levels of compassion, because once you understand that oneness of molecularly, I could have been anyone here and am anyone here in the future, because once I die, and this pen erodes a lot more, like a lot of years after I have. But in theory, I'm just energy, you're just energy, this is just energy, this is just energy. So at some point that's going to go back into the ether, back into the universe, and be moving around and create some more different objects, some more different people, some more different energy that's all moving around each other, that's all intertwined. And that, my friends, was the idea of enlightenment. Total, utter compassion to every single thing. I was in a state of like total awe, looking around, being like, out of everything that could have been made of that, your atoms, you were made into I was looking at a candle. Out of anything in the world that those things could have been, you're now a candle. Anything in the world, I was looking at my books. Like, they could be anything right now. That tree that was cut down could have been made into anything. That tree could have been burnt and turned into ash and gone into the thing. That tree could have been some table that was in your house. That tree could have been built into a canoe and ended up somewhere else. But instead it ended up as a book in my room that I own, that I read. I was looking at, like, so full of compassion for every single thing that I'd ever seen or could see right there and then, that at some point I might meet again, just to get a level of empathy with myself, even though I don't believe I necessarily exist, that I might meet again somewhere else. Why on earth and how on earth could I ever treat that thing, object or person wrong ever again? Because that could have been me, and that could be me. So once we break down that egotistical idea that I am one, not separate, so how can I be egotistical? I don't exist. I am an impermanent, remember what we said, an impermanent structure, moving structure of atomic mass, a mass of atomic particles. So I'm not me anyway. Then when I understand that I could have been something else before and I'm going to be something else later, I realise I'm even less me, but however, I don't feel separate. I feel open. I look at people and think, wow, I'm going to treat you how, like you were me, like you were mine, like we were the same, we are the same. So when we use these words, were, am, I am the same as you, what it really means is there is no me, there is no you. The wall's gone. I'm not looking at them thinking, what are they doing? Why are they doing that? I'm looking at them being like, what are we doing? What's making us perform in this way? What made your structure happen and my structure happen, and why can we not come together? If there is a way of coming together, which there is, of understanding we're not separate. And anyway, so once you realise that you're not separate, life isn't unsatisfactory, you break down the delusions in your mind of I am this, I, me, mine, yours, that's your thing, that's my thing. No, they're all things that cannot actually be owned. I actually have to take care of this cup. This is in my property. This cup could be an old ancestor of yours. I'm going to look after it. I'm going to treat it with care. I'm going to really, really enjoy it for what it is now. Just the same as I would do for people. I will enjoy what they are now. Just the same as myself. I will appreciate and enjoy what I am now, just like you should do. Enjoy and appreciate what you are now. Doesn't mean you're going to be that forever. Doesn't mean that you were that before. You weren't. Which means you're ever changing, totally impermanent, and totally limitless potential. You might be a tiger in the future. Wow. Ooh. You might be a space rocket. Ooh. You might be President of the United States. If that's what you want, if that still exists. You know, you might be a beautiful sunflower. You might be a beautiful apple tree that feeds hundreds of people. But right now, whatever you are, that's what you are. And you need to represent that ever-flowing, limitless potential that you have to be like the tree, to plant your seeds deep down, to grow out, to take in the sunlight, to take in the air, to take in the water, to take in your environment, and then give out fruit. Be really understanding of the oneness. You are connected to everything. Therefore, you are everything. That's when you find true compassion. And that's when you can live your life in the open space of excitement of the now. There's only the now. This one moment in time. Now it's gone. Another one. Now it's gone. What am I going to do with my moment? Now that I understand I'm totally involved in the world. I'm totally compassionate to all things I see and do because I treat them like me. Because me is you. And we're in the one. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's helpful. And I will be more concise at some points, but hey! Whoop, 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 whoop. Oneness, oneness. Oh yeah, by the way, 1, 0 was like I'm just, look, if you want to debate me, that's cool. I don't think anyone can actually prove this, but I want to say something. 0, Western world took it as nothing. Value of nothing. Eastern world created 0. It means whole. No less, no more. In the middle, whole, oneness. Forget number 1. That's plus. That's too much. 0, wholeness. Peace, love. Hope that helps. Bye.